Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Declassified. Tonight is going to be an exciting episode. We have a lot of clips to get to as we talk about haunted hotels, the skunk ape, and UFOs. So let's get into it, and welcome to Declassified. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. Declassified this week, and I want to say welcome to all the VIP members. We truly appreciate it, and I know there's some new VIP members that are tuning in for the first time. If this is your first episode of Declassified, welcome. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about. Now, tonight is going to be full of apparitions, UFOs. We're going to talk the skunk ape, and just real paranormal activity. As we get into Halloween, what better time to focus on the ghosts and things like that that could be around you every single day, and we're going to do that here tonight. Now, as these episodes have kind of progressed, we've had to kick up our game or kick it up a notch just to keep up with the previous episode. So last episode, we showed a lot of apparitions. This episode, we're going to show you some more as well. So let's kind of get into it. And the first thing we're going to talk about when we go over and we look at the paranormal is we are going to talk about some UFOs. Now, I'm not a huge fan of UFOs, and I think I've talked about this a lot on the show because normally it's just like a dot that's in the sky. People see it, and it's like, oh, great, that's a dot that's flying in the sky. Yeah, it's a UFO, and I respect that, and I understand that it is amazing in its own sense. But to me, like, just one dot, I mean, I've seen it over and over. So if I see it in person, yeah, I'm going to freak out and I'm going to record it, just like all of the people that we see in some of the videos we've talked about before. But I'm looking for something more impressive at this point. And that being said, these videos that I'm going to show you of UFOs are the dots in the sky that I'm talking about, but they do something in the pattern is what kind of catches my attention. So let's take a look at this. This first one comes in, and you're going to notice that it's more than one dot. However, it is a dot kind of like I've talked about in the past. So you're going to see right here, there's two dots. Goes into three dots, which is a little bit more peculiar. So again, as we start, it goes to two dots, one kind of here where you can see my mouse, then another brighter one right over there. Now the question is, I guess, is it so bright because it's just, you know, that one has more energy, or are we actually looking at two that are kind of overlapped, and then that's where we see them branch out and kind of break apart? But the other thing I want to look at that kind of catches my attention is when we look at this, you're going to notice that the one on the left has kind of like a ring around it. Now, I guess the question here is, like, are we looking at those typical saucers that you would see in the sky, and maybe this is the lights around the ring of the saucer? Potentially, we don't really know. The other thing too is this is a UFO, 100% a UFO in my mind, and as we watch the video, you'll kind of see why. But a UFO just means it's unidentified. It doesn't entirely tell us what that UFO kind of could be. So it could be extraterrestrial, but it could also be something else, as far as it could just be balls of energy. And then I've heard some theories that are kind of out there as far as it could be like another being. Like, I'm not talking about like a human or anything like that, but I'm talking about maybe something like a creature or like a cryptid or something that's mythological. It could be all of those as well. So as we watch this, remember, UFO. And also, if you look in the sky and see this kind of stuff, this is definitely not a star. It's definitely not a plane, because when you watch the motion, it's got its own unique pattern. Okay, and so obviously it's not in America. But check it out. So check out the way it kind of just blips. Like, one goes out and then it blips right over there. So not really the pattern of a plane. Now this is the same exact thing, and I think the reason that this is so powerful, and the transition was kind of quick, so like right here, clearly at nighttime, but what you're gonna see is you're also gonna see in another clip, totally different time of day, but it's still giving you the same activity. And now obviously the person talking right here, but we're looking, and you can see it's the same kind of pattern in all these clips. And again, this one's a little further away, but it's still kind of doing the same pattern. So now, the reason that this catches my attention, like I said, they're just dots in the sky. So looking at this right now, some people might freak out, and I'm not huge fans of those kind of video where they're like, oh, it's the end of the world. No, it's 2 dots in the sky. Calm down. But what is interesting about this is they're clearly all different locations, different times of day, but you're getting the same activity. So now we have a trend. So now we're looking at something. Now, this is what makes that interesting, is the fact that it's happening all over the world in the same kind of pattern. So is this the same ship, or is this like a fleet? So maybe there's multiple ships that kind of do the same pattern, or what is this? But again, kind of when you're looking at this, these are the kind of things that you would be looking in the sky for. And I really think the one at the beginning was the best one. It was kind of zoomed in, really close. So it's just something to think about. And it was a clip to start on. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of UFO videos in general because they all look pretty darn close to this one. But I do think there was something here, and I want to give credit where credit's due. I also don't want to kind of let that be forgotten about, is UFOs are still out there. So keep your eyes to the sky, VIP members, as we go through this and you're out and about at nighttime. Now here's another one. This is a UFO video. Again, very similar to the one we just saw, but we're going to go through it. Okay, now what you're looking at right here is those dots. Now the one thing that's really going to be different from this video to the one that we just watched is the one in the last video. The pattern of flight was different. This one, you're going to see dots appear, and then you're going to notice that they kind of they move around. So opposed to disappearing and then just reappearing somewhere else, now you have these dots that are kind of they're weaving in and out. They're kind of all over the place. Which, when we talk credibility, I have never seen a plane do this kind of pattern. So it's definitely something unique. Now, the other kind of thing that we're looking at here is throughout this entire video, it kind of stays in a triangle, which poses the question, right? So we're used to just thinking aliens, UFOs, saucers, but there is a lot of reports of triangular UFOs that are out there. So is this just a UFO that's kind of spinning around, kind of doing whatever? Not only that, but we've also, I think we've even shared on this show, like pyramid UFOs. So is this kind of the base of that pyramid as well? But this I like because, yes, although they are dots in the sky, we're looking at something that's clearly not an airplane, clearly not a blimp, and they're moving relatively quickly as well. And they're the only things in the sky. And I like how it's New York, so you can definitely hear all the traffic and everyone kind of passing by. But that's it. The clip pretty much stays the same, but I think the other impressive thing too is this is a longer clip. Like the whole entire clip is like 8 minutes long. And when you kind of look at that, that is a long duration for like a UFO. So this thing stays there and it stays doing this for that amount of time. Whereas think about it, if it was a plane, it would clearly be making progress across the screen. Whereas this one, it just kind of stays there. It disappears, kind of comes back, and then it moves around. Whereas right now we're starting to see it kind of move. So that was it. UFOs. I don't want to spend too much time on UFOs. Like I said, they're dots in the sky. But what I do want to keep in the forefront is I want everyone on this show to kind of remember UFOs are definitely a thing, and keep your eyes on the sky. And that's kind of what you're looking for. So anytime that I see somewhat credible UFO footage, I like to bring it here just to keep your brains and your minds fresh on what you're looking for and what it could possibly be. So now that we've kind of gotten warmed up a little bit, talked about UFOs, and we're kind of moving right along, let's go into something that I personally want to believe in. We've talked about it before. We've talked about Bigfoot. We've talked about the Yeti. We've talked a little bit about the skunk ape, but I don't think we've really found any solid evidence yet of a skunk ape, forgive me. But I think we finally have it right here. So we have a skunk ape, and really what's going to set apart the definition from Bigfoot, Yeti, skunk ape is the location. Oh, Grassman would be another one that's up there. Grassman, you have a mountain like Ohio area. Skunk ape is going to be down here, down south, like you have your Florida. Bigfoot is going to be kind of more out west, down like I would say Colorado area, things like that. Yeti is going to be now they're in the snow. So it's all relatively the same thing, but they do have slight differences. And kind of, here's a news video. I've said this before. I love when the news takes paranormal things and they report on it. As long as they're not kind of being, complete jerks and kind of sarcastic with it, I think it really brings to the forefront, okay, this is newsworthy, right? Like, so here it is, and this is going to talk about what we're going to get into, which is the skunk ape. So I do believe this one takes place in Florida.
Known for its beautiful beaches and great nightlife, but in the Everglades, the elusive and mysterious skunk ape is the big attraction. Have you heard of this? The skunk ape research headquarters is located on Tamiami Trail.
Tamiami Trail.
Thank you, Elliot. It's just past the United States' smallest post office, and CBS 4 photojournalist Mitch Cuba will take you there. You can go check out his now viral story on CBSMiami.com. We have it posted for you right there.
Now, by the way, we've actually played this clip on our show. Like, we played the original video of that on our show. It was one of the earlier episodes where the skunk ape's just walking across the swamp. I forget what episode it was, but yeah, we've definitely played the original version of that.
We have it posted for you right there on our homepage. And I'm new to South Florida. Clearly, that's a place I need to go.
Are you now scared to go to the Everglades?
I don't know. That might not be the reason I'd be scared to go there,
If you see
Elliot.
them, don't get too close.
No.
All right, so that was kind of it as far as the skunk ape and the news video, but they reported on it, right? Now, just recently, I would say, within the last year or so, there is a new video that has surfaced, which some people are saying is probably the best Bigfoot, skunk ape video we've kind of seen in a long time. And I think one of the things that kind of makes this one of the better ones is it's a clear video. How many times have I complained about where I'm like, man, everyone captures this stuff, but they do it with like the worst cameras in the world. This is one of those cases where the guy did a good job kind of sitting where he needed to be, and then he also recorded it with somewhat of a clear camera. And I think that goes a long way in credibility on this. Now, we'll talk about it. This is one that I want to believe. All right. I really want to believe in a Bigfoot. I want to believe in a Loch Ness monster. I want to believe in all those. This is, here's the video. And at one point I will skip ahead, but I want you to kind of get a feel of what's going on here. So we're in the middle of the woods and there is a guy and he is recording something. All right, so let me pause for a minute. Like, everyone at first probably missed it, but where we're looking is right here where my mouse is. So we're looking in kind of the first third of that screen on the left. Now, the noise, okay, so it sounds like, I'm just gonna go out there and I'm gonna say a skunk ape is trying to use tools. So it sounds like he hit the tree with something. I don't know entirely what. Then I hear a very clear and audible noise of like bark being ripped off the tree. So we're watching this, right? Like, this is one of the first times we've had a Bigfoot, a skunk ape, anything of this type or variety on camera for this long. And we're literally watching it right now. So some people are saying this is the best Bigfoot video that is out there to date. And it's high up there, man. But the other thing too, that's kind of a red flag for me. And we always try to spin both angles on this show. What was this guy filming before he saw this Bigfoot, right? Like, I mean, I'm not going to be like, hey, let me just go walk in the woods and bring my camera to this specific spot. It's, in my mind, I would have liked to know a little bit about the backstory on this one. Like, was he out hiking? Is he a photographer? What's the deal, right? Give me some plausible reason to why he would stumble across this at the right time with a clear camera, be calm and composed and able to record this. So I want to believe this, but I think at the same time, there's gorilla costumes, right? I mean, so let's keep watching, and we'll kind of come up with a decision at the end of this. We'll take a look at reactions. We'll take a look at things like that. I went back. Now that you kind of know, if you missed it, we're looking in this area where my mouse is right here. And now he kind of he stopped recording for whatever reason. And anytime there's jump cuts in a video that's supposedly real, it's always like a red flag to me, but it was a jump cut. Now we're looking right here, listeners, where my mouse is. I'm going to fast forward a little bit. So he just kind of stares at this thing for a while, and then eventually the one notable part is, I don't know why they slowed down the camera. Again, editing has been done in order to slow it down. The Bigfoot, or the skunk ape at this point, which is now right here, will actually stand up. And I think this is kind of a notable part in the video, because once it stands up, now we're seeing like a real height difference against the tree. So we're getting a good look at kind of what that height could be. Now you're going to notice it's right here. Looks like clearly a head. I see shoulders. And it's going to stand up. This guy put it in slow motion for whatever reason. Here it goes. It's about to stand up. It's getting up. And now it's fully up, and then the guy decides to run away, which I don't know if that's a bad move or a good move or what, but let me try to get to where it stands up. It's right there. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Now let me go full screen so you guys can really see what this is. But we're looking at, I can see a head, I can see shoulders, not really much of a neck. Which, when you think of some of the Bigfoot accounts, if you don't know any, it's reported that like the head kind of goes right into the shoulders, not very much of a neck like you would see on you or I. Now, if I was wearing a sweatshirt like this, you might not really see a neck. But again, this thing, like I said, I want to believe this. It looks kind of genuine. I'm not seeing like a zipper down the back of his torso or whatever, so it's not like it's a costume there. I mean, it doesn't mean that it's not. But there's a lot about this video that is really compelling, and with a clear camera like this too, and just some of the ways that it was moving, ripping the bark off the tree. I've heard some arguments where it's saying if it was pulling a tree apart like that, a human couldn't necessarily do that. I would say it depends. Was the tree with their work done to it ahead of time before the camera was recording? I don't know that. Where I stand on this is kind of like where we've had some of the other controversial videos on this show. Is I want to believe this. I really, really want to believe this. That's where I'm going to leave it. I just want to believe it. I want to believe that this is a skunk ape. Potentially, ladies and gentlemen, you are looking at one of the first real recordings of a Bigfoot or a skunk ape, and one of the clearest ones by far. So whether you stand on the side of you want to believe it like me, or the side where you think this is completely fake, totally up to you. That's your right. I lean on I want to believe this. Until this is proven not real, I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to play along with this one. So the guy runs away right here. so on and so forth. But that was it. So that was one that we kind of wanted to talk about. Now, when we kind of talk about other news stories and when the news starts talking about paranormal, here's one. This is a real good one, and it's going to kind of segue into what we're going to talk about for the rest of the show, which is going to be ghosts. This is where it kind of picks up a notch. So as everyone knows, we start off with just a couple warm-up clips, and then we kind of kick it up a notch as we roll into the second half of the show. This is going to be where we talk about paranormal. We're going to talk about apparitions, ghosts, and haunted hotels. This is a good one. And we're going to kick it off with a news story about a man who thinks he captured a ghost in the back of his car.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Something just hit my truck. Something just hit my truck. Holy.
This teen says his truck is haunted.
Well, I'm done. I'm done. Something just hit my truck. Something just hit my truck. Something just hit my truck.
Paranormal buff Troy Vance says spirits have always been attracted to him. But when he photographed what looks like the ghost of a drowned boy in the front seat of his truck, it may have been too much.
Now, oh man, I was 1 second off. I do want to say, like right here, ooh, that is kind of giving me slight chills. But the one thing I will say is this doesn't freak me out nearly as much as some of the other things that we've played on the show, mainly because this kind of looks like a mask to me. But again,
he says it wasn't the first time something freaky happened in his vehicle.
What's that perfume smell I'm smelling right now? Her?
Troy says after trying to record sounds of growls and whispers he heard in his truck.
Who's her? Does she not like it when I mess with the truck late at night or what?
Someone or something banged on his car.
I'm getting really... Oh! Whoa!
now the problem here is the news did what the news does. Like when we hear the bang on the truck, I couldn't hear it. Like I'm wearing headphones too, because they added a sound effect over it because they wanted to be scary.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Something just hit my truck. Something just hit my truck. Holy...
Using a device to communicate with the paranormal.
Well, I'm done.
Troy tried to speak with the dead boy he thought he photographed in his car.
Ooh,
but
that is giving me
instead
slight chills.
Thinks he got the spirit of a woman.
What's that perfume smell I'm smelling right now?
As for what the ghostly images he shot, we may never know. I'm Kelly Nealon for Inside Edition.
Ooh, that did give me chills towards the end. I don't know why. Okay, so that one is, I always like I said, when the news picks up a story and then they start to kind of talk about it, because then it's like, all right, maybe it gets a little bit more real. Now, you're always going to have those people that no matter what, like, I've met people that are just straight up, nope, don't believe in ghosts, which is fine. I mean, like, that's a very naive thing to say. Like, I don't know. It's just, it blows my mind. Maybe just because people are so close-minded. Like, it can literally happen to them and they'll still deny it till the day they die. And I'm like, but you know, it literally just happened to you. So that's fine. There's always going to be people like that. But I think for those of us that are open to it, I think we have to be careful, right? So we have to, and that's part of what this show does, is we look for some of the real clips and then we kind of, I haven't even shown any of the ones that are really fake, because we don't even waste our time with them. But for the real ones, we do want to bring that to the forefront, and we do want to kind of talk about it. So there's always going to be those people, like in that last scenario, yes, it looks like a mask. And in my opinion, that looked like a mask. But with some of the next things that I'm going to show you, what my whole point was, there's always going to be people that see what I'm about to show you, and they can always disprove it or whatever. And they're not all wrong, because I think a lot of the times we misdiagnose paranormal activity for little things that are just natural events too. So I think our job, and kind of here on Declassified, we've got to be that median, right? So when something happens, it's not a ghost right away until we can't prove that it's not a ghost, and then you're left with evidence, right? So as we do that, I'm going to show you a montage, which we don't normally do, but we've kind of compressed them all into one video, and we're going to go through what some real paranormal activity looks like. It's going to be a combination of objects moving, maybe some apparitions, we don't know. Let's kind of get into it. So this first one, we're looking in a living room, and inside the living room, you're going to be looking over here by where this lamp and kind of where this, I'm going to say that looks like a plant. But check this out. Did you guys see it? It flew right across. Technically, it flew off the bookshelf, but it flew over to where I was telling you guys to look. I kind of misdirected you a little bit. I didn't mean to. I forgot what was going to move in this video. Here, let me go full screen. We're looking up at the bookshelf at this point. I do think something else moves in this, though. I can't remember. That's what I thought. That had a lot of bass. Like, that was really loud. So we see something fall off the bookshelf. It's kind of right here. It's mid-motion right now. Then, and so here's the other thing too. This is a security camera, but you see this plant, like you hear it start to slide, and then you actually see it fall. But if you listen to it sliding, like I don't know about anyone watching right now, but it sounds like it has a little bit of weight to it. Like, did you hear that thing fall? Like, it was like, boom. Like, it fell. Like, listen. Like, that's got a lot, like, that is a heavy noise. I know that doesn't really make sense, technically, but you get what I'm saying. And then something else moves over here in the corner. Which sucks, because it looked like something fell and broke. Now we go into the kitchen. This one's pretty straightforward. We've talked about all this stuff before. This one is really just a drawer. Like, I've said this numerous times. I wouldn't be like a poltergeist or something like that. I forget exactly the phrasing. I just totally drew a blank. But I wouldn't be mad that things were happening. I'd just be pissed that I had to clean things up. Like I've said that, I think in every episode where we've talked about a kitchen and things moving. Super loud. All right. Oh! Did you see that? Oh. Okay, like that is a little nuts. All right, so I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go full screen. I'm gonna play it, and then we'll break it down. Where was it? You guys are seeing that, right? Like, so it is now, and I think there's a difference. So anytime you have activity like this, it's important, it's crucial to break down what these objects are doing, right? This is not just now a drawer opening up. I don't know why that gave me chills. This is not just a drawer opening up right now. Now you have silverware flying out. But what I mean by analyzing kind of all of this is you want to look specifically at the intent, right? So that silverware doesn't just pop and fall to the ground. Like, that's moving with some force. So now I would, as an investigator, try to figure out, okay, is this an aggressive thing? Like, because standard, it's hard to move objects. It's hard to manifest enough energy to move objects, which is why you normally just see something slide for a second and stop. It's just, it takes a lot of energy to do that. But this seems to be doing it with very, very minimal effort and an aggressive way. So it's again, this is one where I might go in and I might say we got to be careful here, especially like if that was a knife flying at that velocity. All right, now we are in a security room. This one's not terribly crazy. The chair just starts to move on its own. We've seen this before in office buildings. So this is a guy recording the security camera. So I'm going to let this one just roll through. There's not a whole lot to break down here. Very minimal. I would say if this ever happens in your work or house, don't freak out. Like, there's really nothing scary about this. Now, right here, this one's kind of interesting. We're looking right here where my mouse is. This is a security camera. And what I would tell you is on this one, whoops. So on this one, it's kind of, I don't know if I'm going to go as far as to say it's an apparition or a ghost or anything like that. I would say this is more of a mist. It's definitely not an orb. Okay, it's definitely not an orb, but it's definitely not clear enough to see what it is. And until I can clearly see what it is, I'm not going to jump and say that, this is a ghost or anything like that. I would say this is a mist. Okay, you kind of see that go through. I'm going to go back and I'm going to go full screen. All right. So you're going to see the mist. Kind of goes through right there. Again, not the scariest thing in the world, and we really don't know what that is. That could be a lot. This camera is in night vision. So when we talk about night vision, there's some theories that so cameras can pick up different frequencies and things like that our eyes can't, which is why when you have night vision on, you can see more of this kind of activity than you can actually see with the naked eye. It makes sense. But again, like I said, I would classify this more as like a mist, really, than I would anything else. Not a whole lot of shape to it. And that's kind of why. Okay? Not a whole lot of shape. I do believe we're going to roll to the next one on this. Oh, no, sorry. They slow motion it. So if we kind of pause it right here, again, I'm not seeing a whole lot of mass. I'm definitely not seeing an orb. I don't know what else to describe it as other than just a mist. Okay. All right, so we go to the next one on this one. Let's take a look.
There it is.
All right, I'm going to try to break this down. This might be really tough to see. Now, they're going to be filming in a house as they're driving by, okay? Now, they're going to go by... Oh, this one's already giving me chills thinking about it. They're going to be driving by, and what we're going to be looking at is we're going to be looking in this window, all right? Now, they're going to shine their flashlight in there. It's going to be really tough to see, but I'll pause it when we get to it. Somewhere right around here. Okay, so, ooh, that one did give me chills. All right, so they scan back, and then they see right here in the doorway, I don't know if it's a kid, if it's an adult, but we see something. Ooh, this one is giving me chills. Ooh, oh, man. But they see something right here, okay? And so they see that, and I'm going to go back, but it's right here. They see it, and then they're like, go, 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 go. All right, it's going to be right here. It's going to be in there, which I think on that pass it's not there, and now it's going to be there.
Holy
Oh, they zoomed in.
Go.
Okay, let me pause it. Okay, so that one, again, when we kind of go back and take a look at it, let me see if I can pause in the right spot. It is going to be right there. Ooh, and that's a good shot of it. So, it's far enough away where that could be a chair. That could be something. Definitely giving me chills on that one. But when they pan by, they see it, they freak out, they go. Oh man, why is that giving? That one's giving me a lot of chills on my neck, on my arm. But then this next one that we're going to see after they book it out of there.
Go.
This one is just a clock on the wall, and it just kind of shakes. I don't know if it eventually falls or not, but we're just kind of looking at that. So with this one, what I would tie it back to is kind of think about, with the clock moving, think about how we talked about lamps, and we talked about just things on the ceiling moving anytime there's activity. This would fall right in line with that. Now this next clip that they're going to show you, this one, another security cam, but what we're looking at is right up here. It looks like someone walking by. This one's really peculiar because as it walks by, it looks very solid-like, and I would say now that at this point, this takes a human form. But once it gets to the end of the camera, it's going to kind of disappear and fade off. Check it out. So we see it kind of walk across. It's over here, and it's going to move. And this is where it kind of just disappears. So, what could cause that? Normally, I would say if you see something like this and someone walking and, they're slightly unclear or they look funny like this, I'd just chalk it up to the camera, right? But they're not even completely all the way off of the screen, and we're kind of noticing that, okay, so it starts to disappear. And then other things that I would like to point out is as it gets closer to the end where it kind of disappears, you're going to notice that it actually, before it fully disappears, it starts to get more transparent. Now, the other thing too is this is not uncommon. People catch this kind of thing all the time. And it's just because we have more cameras out right now and there's more people just recording 24/7. So we're more likely to catch more activity, which is great for people like us. But again, check it out. Okay. So it goes by, it continues to walk. And then somewhere like so right around here is where it starts to get a little bit transparent. Like, I mean, it's still there, but now it's virtually invisible. It gets a little bit solid, like, and you can almost see the legs right there, and then it eventually just disappears. Now, the other argument I would say is like, it's not something in front of the camera because you see little bits of rain, potentially, I don't even want to say orbs, but bugs, things like that. So you're seeing other things in front of the camera here. And then this is a totally different, dimension's not the right word, but plane. It's at a different depth, so you can see that. But that's a good one. I consider that one a good one. And I think it's going to roll into the next one as we take a look at this. This is, oh man, that was quick. They started it right off the bat. This one's going to be on the left side of your screen. We're looking right here. I think they play it a couple times. There it is. Now, here's the question. It, like, right here is where we're looking. It kind of looks like it's in robes, to be completely honest. Or, let me throw another theory out. We've talked a lot about shadow people in the past. Last episode, we played a couple things for shadow people. Normally, it's a black mass, right? You can see a form, but it's usually poking its head out from behind a wall, a door, something like that. Whereas we never really get to see a good look at it. What if this camera is now capturing the backside of what would be a shadow person right here, and this is what we're looking at? Because it's very similar to the mass of like a shadow person. However, now we're getting a full look at it. I'm just throwing that out there. What if that's what they would actually look like? Now on this one, I don't really think we're going to be missing a whole lot other than there's lights that are turning on and off. I do believe that's about it for this clip, if I'm not mistaken. Nothing too crazy on this front. I mean, I'm hearing some noises, but nothing really. Okay, this one. I do want to park on this one for a minute. This is... Okay, we are looking up here. I think they play it a couple times, but you're going to see something actually kind of go through the door without opening the door, without doing anything else. Check it out. And they're scrubbing right now, so you can see, which very interesting. Like if we go back to that for a minute and take a look at it, like what they have right there, it looks like it's like floating. Like if you were to take a baseball and wrap like a white napkin around it, is kind of what that looks like right there. And then it kind of just goes right through. So that's a good one. Now in this clip, you're going to see someone walk across the camera, which is odd because you're going to hear talking like it's someone on their phone, but they kind of disappear.
I gotta assume that other kids are being
Now this one, all right. So here's the thing: as the guy walks by, you can hear he's clearly on the phone. Doesn't sound like it's some kind of vintage whatever. I'm going to say that this one was a glitch in the camera. If I truly had to say, because I know Ring is not the best quality and it will kind of freeze and lock up on you. So
I gotta assume that other kids are being
and you also hear how the audio is getting... I think the camera just locked up on this one. All right, so let's move on and let's get to kind of the main event. Now, we have 3 clips and they're going to build up and progressively build as we go. Let's talk about hotels. Now, when we talk about hotels, here's a man who was staying in one of the... I'm going to say a motel, not a hotel. And his room was haunted. Now, when we talk about what a real haunting looks like, think about everything we've talked about in this series. It's really objects moving, right? But now... This person is kind of has this experience. Objects start moving, but then he starts talking to it, and then the objects start moving on command. Check this out. It's kind of a cool one.
I decided to turn on my camera because
there's something really scary going on in here right now. I'm in the hotel room, and I was laying here watching CNN, and that phone fell off its cradle, and I have no idea why. One of those cups right there fell off onto the floor down in here. I have no idea how that happened. It didn't fall out there where the light would hit. It fell, came down, went over and under the sink and landed right in here in this shadowy area.
All right, now that's what you need to know for the buildup. Now I'm going to go to 1:15, and this is where things start to pick up.
And I don't know. Oh, crap. I know I got that.
Yeah, the guy's audio is a little messed up. Let me go back a little further.
And I don't know. Oh, crap.
I don't know, the way the guy's holding his tablet or his cameras, it's got the mic all messed up.
That's crazy. The phone's not even plugged in on the wall, but it's coming off its cradle by itself.
Now I'm going to fast forward to the next event that kind of takes place. So we're going to go to 225. When we go to 225, let's take a look at the next thing to happen to this gentleman.
Can you move something else again for me? Anything?
Oh!
Now, I will say the one thing I like about this guy is he's not freaking out. So he's kind of handling it, and he's doing it in a way where he's kind of having fun with it.
Can you tell me your name?
Now, I didn't hear anything when he asked that, personally.
I can't hear you. Can you maybe speak a little louder? Oh my goodness. Okay, I know you're in here. I just want to know what your name is. And if there's anything I can do to help you. Is there anything at all?
Now, that's a very dangerous thing to ask. It's a very noble thing to ask, but here's the problem. So if I kind of follow up on this, I do believe it followed this guy home. Like whatever it was attracted, like, and it stuck to him, and he brought it back to his house. So that's why you do have to be careful with what you say out loud. I'm very much a believer in that. But the other thing too is if we go to 3 minutes and 30 seconds, he has one last thing start to happen to him.
Is there a place that you want to go to? A place that you need to be? Anything?
That laugh.
Okay, it's freaking me out, but you're not really scaring me.
I think that's a fair response. I think you can be startled. Like I've always said, like if something happens, like I will for sure jump. Like I'm only human, right? Like you can get me to jump. I'm not invincible like that, but I also think I'm very much in control where I will never show that I'm, like scared or anything like that. I think physically jumping and being startled is totally different than genuinely being scared, if that makes sense. So I think the way this guy is handling this is fantastic. Now, when we talk about the way people handle things and someone doing a good job, this is an example of another hotel. Now we're going from motel to hotel, okay? You're going to hear it over walkie-talkies. So we're looking at security cameras. So this is kind of filmed and recorded all from the central hub. So the HQ of where all these cameras and the database would be. And it's a report of a room where there's just screaming coming from. Now, this report was phoned into the front desk from whoever was in the room next to them. And then so they call, they say, hey, yeah, there's a bunch of screaming coming from the room next to me. So they send someone up to talk or to take a look at what's going on. He opens the door, and you're going to see that he's kind of startled. And then you're going to listen to the reports. We'll kind of break it down as we go. This one, it's interesting. All right. This one's interesting. Remember, we're watching from CCTV, which means security camera footage.
What room is that? If it's the room right above him, it should be 209. John, do you copy?
All right, so you're going to see on the top left, so we're literally looking at the security camera footage. This is exactly what the hotel sees. They just burned it onto a disc or whatever and then uploaded it. They did add subtitles. But top left is where, and we're literally just scanning through the cameras.
It's room 209. Amy says nobody's checked into that room, and there's reports of screaming coming from that room. Amy, he's on his way down there right now. What's going on, John? There's no one checked into that room. There should be nobody in there. Wait 1 second, John. Amy, are you there? Yeah, John says he hears the screaming coming from that room. And I hear it too. But we're sure that no one's checked into that room. Correct? John, just wait. We're going to get a hold of the police. So, I would wait for the police, John. Amy, John's going to enter the room real quick just to check, make sure, see what's going on. Wait one. John? John, are you there? Okay, Amy, John wants you to call the police right now if you don't mind. He says no one's in there, but that all of the furniture's been turned upside down and the hold on. He says the carpet's been ripped up and that the shower is on, but nobody's in there. Man, that's scary. I'm officially freaked out now.
All right, so let me go back. At one point when he kind of opens the door, there's one thing that, okay, so he goes in the room and then you're going to see something kind of come out.
Amy, John's going to enter the room real quick just to check.
Right? Okay, once he walks in, you're going to see some white kind of figure or mist. You're going to see a mist right here kind of come out. Okay, I'm going to go back one more time. So he goes in. There it is. It kind of comes out. Now, okay, so when we talk about this video, this is one where I very much want it to be real. This, however, though, because it's security camera footage, it's so easy to make security camera footage, but I did want to play it because whoever did it looked at some of the little details and they did a good job. I want this to be real. That's where I land on this. I think there are definitely some red flags to this, but I want this to be real, all right? Now, we're going to move on. This is the last clip, and it is the best clip. Now, this is in a Las Vegas hotel. When we talk about hotels, think about all the things that could potentially happen in a hotel. And also think about all the people that have been there before you. Now, realistically, why could a hotel be haunted? Yeah, okay, maybe someone could have been killed there. But more realistic, what we're looking at is think about all the traffic, all the different types of people that stay in a hotel. What that translates to is think about all of the different types of energy that have been in that room. You have people that are happy, I'm sure people that are mad, angry. I'm sure you have bad intentions. I'm sure you have good intentions. So you have a wide range of just attitudes, people. What you're doing is you're creating an environment with mixed energy. Now, with that mixed energy, you can attract different spirits or different whatever paranormal. And based on that, it could really kind of alter the activity you're going to get. But it also can heighten the percentages and the chances that you're going to see something in a hotel. Airports would be another one. It's not uncommon to hear grocery stores or restaurants being haunted as well for those same reasons. People are there all the time. You have a wide range of energies. Now, we're going to go into this clip. Keep that in mind. Enjoy. There's going to be some points where I'll break in and we'll jump to different scenes, but they're going to break down the story and we're going to kind of follow them through this investigation.
So there's the door, okay? Now, like a bunch of damn kids, we were all messing with like the doors and looking in every door and all that kind of shit, and we were just looking at all this stuff, and like the room's amazing. Well, we go to open the door, because I opened the door first, okay? And then Sonny and Dylan came up behind me, and I joked with them. I'm like, yo, this is your linen, you grab it. Well, the lady, she was very sweet, and then she basically, to speed the story up, she said, oh, that man. And we all did this right here. We looked behind us, we're like, what are you talking about? And I look back, and about that time, she shoves the linens right into my stomach, and I take them, and she said, oh, no, and like, just disappears. So we all thought there was somebody in the room. So, you can sit right here. There is no way, shape, or form. Now this is locked. This actually joins into that room right there. That room there is locked for some reason. I don't know what's in it. And then there is that room there, which is just a closet.
Just a closet.
Yep. So we're like, okay, where did she see this man? And then that's when we proceeded to say that, housekeeping, they do see a lot of stuff that the average person doesn't. They get to clean up the mess. They get to see and hear different things. So we came to the conclusion that we should film a video and see if this place is haunted. Now, Dylan is downstairs losing money out the ass right now, I'm sure, because I'm not too sure he's a very good gambler, but I am going to call him and just see if he wants to join in, because I hate holding this damn camera.
So they basically gave you the story. The maid saw something, pointed behind him and said, that man. Now they bust out their equipment and they're going to begin the investigation. So let's see. Let's go ahead. We're going to skip ahead to 14 minutes and 35 seconds to where they start using what we call dowsing rods. Now, if you don't know what dowsing rods are, they are actually really the purpose of dowsing rods, like you kind of see right here, is to actually, and I'm going to pause it because there's going to be an ad. So dowsing rods were originally designed to find water. So what you would do is you would walk across the land, and then once they cross, that means you've hit a vein of water. Now, paranormal investigators will often use these because energies can do the same thing, but they're easy enough to work. And the way it works is you have two little hollow tubes, and you put the metal, the wire in the tube. What that does is so your hand's holding the tube and not the metal. So that way I can't go like this and move that rod left or right. That's the right way to do it, okay? So those are dowsing rods. That's what they're going to be using there, and they're going to be using those to communicate. So the real purpose was to find water, veins of water, but paranormal investigators use them like this, which is cool because I don't know if we've ever talked about dowsing rods on this show yet, but this is it. They're real easy to get. They're not expensive, but they're a good way to communicate if you can do it safely. Remember everything we've talked about. Here we go.
CJ, I'm here with my friend Sonny, and we are performing an investigation. We want you to take these rods right here, and yes is going to be crossing them, no is going to be pushing them away. If I ask for you to point in a direction, I need you to move these rods in a certain direction. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off. If there are any spirits here with us right now, answer yes.
Now you're going to see them
and I'm also going
slowly start to move.
Going to be pushing them away. If I ask
I'm only going back because I stepped on it. I didn't mean to. I should have just let it play. But you're going to see them slowly start to move.
For you to point in a direction, I need you to move these rods in a certain direction. So I'm going to go ahead and start this off. If there are any spirits here with us right now, answer yes. And I'm also going... Okay. Oh, shit. Are you trying to move... Oh, mother... I didn't mean to say that. Okay. Okay.
Now that, when we talk about genuine reactions, that seemed like a genuine reaction. I believe this. I believe this wholeheartedly at this point.
Right, that's like a surefire, like, definite yes. Okay. My heart's pounding really fast because now that lady is like possibly right. We need to get her up here.
Man, I tell you, I see, you know, when we have used these, I've only held them like once or twice. But dude, you can almost feel like an energy that's running through these things. I don't want to say like a vibration, but you...
Interesting theory. If you are like a medium, or if you're somewhat sensitive, and I don't know if we've talked about that, but like you're more likely to see paranormal and experience it because you just have that energy, that vibration. These are a perfect tool for you.
Can you spread these back apart for us? And if you died in this room, can you point these to a direction of where your body was? Holy shit. It's towards my room.
Either the room
or the couch,
yeah.
or that area, that direction.
Dude, I need you to zoom in. I've got goosebumps.
Oh, God.
On top of goosebumps right now. You can
sound familiar?
It's like heavy to breathe all of a sudden. I'm not trying to like freak us out or nothing.
It's
but that's
almost,
weird.
God, dude. I mean, I know it's not, but it almost feels like they're freaking vibrating.
Can you do us a favor? Can you confirm that is the direction towards that way? Can you move this one right here? Okay. I appreciate you moving that. I know this is taking a lot of energy out of you to do this, but
See the way that they're thanking it. So this is a concept we haven't talked about yet. And it's very important, right? So you want to be respectful. So if you ask a spirit or an entity to do something, when it does it, it's really important that you say thank you. You don't have to say, I understand it was really hard to do that, but you want to show appreciation, right? Like, so it does take a lot of energy to do this. It's a two-way communication. It's a two-way street. And I really like the way these guys are investigating this because they are respectful. They're not the kind of people that go in and just antagonize and they kind of work up a spirit and then leave. Like, they're being very respectful. Thank you for doing that. We appreciate it. It's a very good way to investigate. I would investigate with these guys.
can you also point these?
Okay, hold on.
You good?
Yeah, I think I interfered with that there because I started to shake. Okay.
See, and the fact that they recognize that goes a long way to their credibility too.
Just, yo, put your hands out here. Just like rest them up.
Dude, that is weird.
Isn't that?
I've never felt that vibrate like that. It's like I said, it's almost like a vibration. Okay.
Like an energy coming through, right? And you're like feeling it,
Yeah,
right?
that last little thing, that was me because I jerked. Oh, God, I almost poked you in the
Oh,
eye.
shit.
All right, let me stabilize it.
All right.
All right, so I am going to, let me see. Oh, we're pretty much right here. I'm just going to let it roll then.
I want to ask something a little bit more precise, okay?
I got him straight.
Looks like it's bent down. I'm just trying to get these as straight as possible. Yeah, right there.
Okay, so that was very comedic, but I also think that was very genuine. And the reason I didn't tell you what was going to happen was because I wanted it to just be. Now, what's going to happen is you're going to hear a noise, and now they're kind of facing this way. So off to their left, And then there's another noise off to their right. So you have rapid fire things kind of going off, which catches them off guard. Because it's also when they least expect it.
Like an energy coming through, right? And you're like feeling it.
Yeah,
right?
that last little thing, that was me because I jerked. Oh, God, I almost poked you down.
Oh, shit.
All right, let me stabilize.
All right. I want to ask something a little bit more precise, okay?
I got him straight.
Looks like it's bent down. I'm just trying to get these as straight as possible. Yeah, right there. Oh! What's going on? Damn! Oh, shit!
All right.
Mother, my back.
My neck, my back. All right. So this happens. All right. But they do. So they quickly get themselves together and then they run and then they try to see what it was.
Oh, damn. Oh, shit. Mother, my back. Ow.
What in the hell was that?
My back bleeding.
Huh?
How's my back bleeding?
You got, oh, dude, you got redness on your back. What did you?
And then so they run to see where the noise came from.
What's that? Holy shit. Holy
What the?
Oh gosh damn it, dude.
What?
Holy shit.
Holy shit. Go that way, I'm going this way.
Oh my gosh, look at this, dude. Holy shit. Holy shit.
What is
Holy
that? Is that
shit.
the trash
Holy
can?
shit. Oh my gosh. I had my, oh no, I didn't bring my razor, dude.
What?
Yep, sure as hell did.
All right. So there's one thing, although it seems very minor, where he's like, oh, I hope they didn't break my razor. That seems very genuine because why would you break your own razor, right? Like, so there is a lot of little genuine things here that I'm believing. But I also like, okay, so opposed to some of the other videos we've seen, they got up, they picked the camera up without stopping it, ran in, we saw it all in one take. I like that.
Oh no.
Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm okay. It's like I had all my toiletry stuff right up here. Look, even the soap.
Dude, was that from the chair? Oh man, you got a. Oh damn, dude.
Damn. Oh my gosh. I don't know if y'all can see that. Shit. Whew. Okay.
Where's
What was that?
Where is it? You had all of this on the counter?
All of this was in my bag. I had my bag open.
This is the trash can.
I had my bag open just like this. I have no idea, dude. I don't have any clue.
And that's kind of it. So there's really the rest of the video, they don't really capture anything else. So that's kind of where we're going to end it as far as this episode. But I thought that that was a really good clip to end it on. It was a genuine clip. I believe that one. Now, whereas there's a couple others in there where I'm like, I'm on the fence. I want to believe. The one at the end here, that was what real activity would look like. I like the way they investigated, and I like the way that they carried themselves. Again, it's okay to get startled, but then you got to get yourself together and you got to think logically through it, which I think they did a pretty good job. Now, for all the VIP members, we truly appreciate you subscribing and kind of coming out, watching the VIP show, watching Declassified. I've got a lot of clips too. Like, I found a bunch today and I didn't fit them all into this episode. I probably crammed more than I should have into one because it was a little rushed at times, but I wanted to get some good clips in there. Wanted to show you some haunted hotels and potentially what that could look like, and hopefully when you go and travel, you keep that in the back of your mind. So now, our checklist. When you're driving around, you're looking for planes that are stuck in the air, glitches in time. You're looking for UFOs, and when you're at hotels or in restaurants, just keep your senses open because you could run into some paranormal activity. And until next time, we will see you on the VIP show, the After Hours show on Fridays, or back here on Declassified. VIP members, again, we appreciate you, and we will see you next time. This has been Declassified.